They don't pay us to think. They pay us to know. We know we can beat them. There's no excuses why we shouldn't. Win the game. Period. W is on 3, man. Let's go. W on 3. 1, 2, 3. W.
Welcome, all my fellow Redskin brethren and sistren. I am your man and resident Redskins fan, Lou. Thank you for joining me here on the Redskins Rapid React quickly on the R3. I'm so torn by this win, to be honest with you, because if you want change, the Redskins can't finish up this season playing competitive football. You needed to find a way to lose this game, but I wanted to win. You know how I am. I didn't want to lose the football game. I never want to lose. I know that losing benefits us in the draft. I know that losing benefits us getting rid of Bruce Allen and Jay Gruden. I know all of these things to be truths. Yet, on Sunday at 1 o'clock, I can't pull myself to root against the Redskins. I just can't. It's not in my blood. It's not in my DNA. Yet, at halftime of this game, I felt like, and it was funny, I got a tweet from my man Sean Hawk, and he said, "Can we fire Gruden at halftime?" And I'm like, bruh, no, that doesn't make any sense. But that punt return was so frustrating right before the half, you know. And my biggest issue with that whole situation wasn't the punt return we gave up, wasn't the fact that we got this long snapper that we just snatched up off the street yesterday that can't get the football back to Tressway in enough time so that he's not almost having every punt blocked. No, that's not my issue. My issue is that we had a chance before halftime to get a stop, which we did defensively, force the Jaguars to punt the football, which they did, get great field position, and potentially get a field goal before halftime. How do we botch this situation? One, their punter, give them credit, their punter got off one hell of a kick. Why the F is Mo Harris back on punt returns? I told you I don't want him touching the football on jet sweeps. I don't want him touching it on wide receiver screens. Why the hell would you think I would want him back on punt returns? At this point, anybody but. Even if that means putting Jamison Crowder's ass back there, which we don't want either, but I'd much rather have him back there than Mo Harris. You're telling me the best guy you got for the job of punt returner is Mo Harris. Danny Johnson was on the roster today. So Danny Johnson can't go back there and field a punt. Anybody but him. He, first of all, sets up, and again, I'm not going to blame him for setting up where he did because you didn't expect the kicker to boom like a 65-yard punt in the air. But then he muffs it. He calls for a fair catch, first of all. Bro, you running backwards. Why are you calling for a fair catch? Anyway, I digress. I'm crying over spilt milk. It's one of the reasons why Jay Gruden has to go. Situations and decisions like that. Why the hell is Mo Harris, a guy that doesn't want any contact, why is he on punt returns? Help me. Anyway, it was a nice comeback win by the Redskins. It was very lucky. And look, luck is a part of the game. So I'm not going to poo-poo luck. Luck is a part of sports, period. Right place, right time, and good fortune sometimes finds you. That tip pass by the Jaguars defender into the hands of Jamison Crowder saved the game. And ultimately the season, for all intents and purposes, if you still think the Redskins are competitive this year, next week's game actually does still mean something because the Cowboys did lose, and the Redskins are still just a half game out of the wild card behind the Vikings. So technically speaking, the Redskins are still in this thing, which is crazy. I know. But nonetheless, that tip pass gave us a first down on 3rd and forever. The penalties are still a problem. We didn't turn it over. Good for us. We forced 2 of them. Didn't do anything with the first fumble that Kerrigan forced, and almost didn't do anything with the last one that Moreau caused. But luckily enough for us, we're able to run the football down the stretch. Adrian Peterson, who I thought was horrible for 3.5 quarters, really looked good late and helped us seal this victory. Big ups to D-Hop for going 3 for 3 on a day where we could barely move the football. Those points, all of them necessary, were huge in this game, including the game-winning walk-off field goal for D-Hop, getting the Redskins a 16-13 win. Tressway was his normal, outstanding self once again. Our special teams the last couple of weeks, outside of the punt return for a touchdown, have really been the saving grace, or the one bright spot, if you will. I won't say saving grace. When you lose 40-16, there is no saving grace. There's only good and bad, and there was a lot of bad last week, and the special teams was one of the few good and positives from the game. They were, once again, a positive, sans for, again, the punt return by the Jaguars right before the half. But like I said, a lot of breaks for us. Ball tips off the hands of a Jaguars receiver, and we're able to be fortunate enough to get that picked off by Moreau and get good return there to set us up on a drive that would ultimately lead to the game-winning field goal. Also, Vernon Davis had a big drop early in the football game, which I've come accustomed to Vernon doing that from time to time. So not really upset, but when you got Josh Johnson at quarterback, much like last week early in the game with Mark Sanchez, Dirty Ches in there, you can't have drop passes. Redskins dropped the first 3 passes of the game last week, and it was 3 of your best players, Crowder, Reed, and Thompson, all with drops to start the game last week. You had Vernon Davis with a big drop down the field on a really well-thrown football by Josh Johnson against the blitz in this football game. But what can you do? That's where we are right now. Preston Smith had just a lazy – it reminded me of Preston Smith in his rookie season versus the Saints, where the team chewed his ass out for not being on the backside of a run that ended up being like a Mark Ingram 68-yard run down to like the 1-yard line. This was similar to that. Loafing on the backside of a play. Fournette presses it all the way to the strong side of the play. There's nothing there. He sticks his foot in the ground, cuts it all the way back, and because of the lack of backside pursuit, which if Preston Smith had done his job, it would have been a tackle for either no gain or loss of 1. He's backside loafing. He cuts it all the way back and then outruns Preston Smith, who gets nudged by the quarterback slightly. And all of a sudden, you get like a 20-something yard run. Luckily enough for us, the Jaguars self-destructed because they had an offensive pass interference on a crucial 3rd down, or else they probably win this game 16-13. They're probably kicking the game-winning field goal, not us. And they didn't even have to do that. Their receiver, Dante Moncrief, had no business doing that. D.D. Westbrook was going to be wide open anyway. He was already wide open. All season long, we have not defended crossing routes in man-to-man coverage well, and he was wide-ass open. He was going to get the first down, and we were going to lose. So we called a break. We played the Jacksonville Jaguars today. That's why we won. They're just as bad as us. The only difference is they're 4-9, and we're 7-7. But we both stink. Or, excuse me, they're 4-10. But we both stink at this point. There is not much difference, as you can see in the score, between them and us, other than the record, which we did earlier in the season. But right now, as a football team, we are disgusting. We are disgusting to watch. And next week, on Saturday, at least we get the ass whooping out of the way early, we are going to get obliterated by the Tennessee Titans. Okay? Just for you out there. I thought the Redskins could win. I picked the Redskins to win today. I would have been disappointed had they not won today because the Jags stink. So I was expecting us to win, and we did. However, don't expect the same outcome next week because you saw what Cody Kessler did against us today. 6 carries, 6 rushes, 68 yards or something like that. What do you think Mariota's going to do? Push come to shove. Now, granted, the defense got pressure on Cody Kessler. Cody Kessler stinks. The Jaguars offensively stink. Okay? So the pressure that we got today, it was similar to the game against the Giants the first time around where we got all those sacks. It's an inept offense that we took advantage of. But still, he managed to run for 68 yards. And there was one run in there that was just disgusting to watch the Redskins. DJ Swearinger tried to push him down. He didn't. Ha-Ha Clinton-Dix, who continues to be an absolute embarrassment at safety, tried to push him down. He didn't get him down. And he rumbles for like 30-some-odd yards. Josh Norman had to come tackle him from behind. I'm like, are you kidding me? Is this what we're doing right now? Are we seriously doing this right now? Like, big ups to Jeremy Sprinkle for getting his first touchdown of the season. And really, I want to say it might have been his first catches of the season. I don't think he had a catch up until today. He had about 3 or 4 of them today. Good for him. Josh Johnson on the day, thought he ran it well. I thought he made some quick decisions with the football at times. Thought he also took some ill-advised sacks. I also thought that he played as well as you could ask a 4th-string quarterback that's been here a little over a week to play. I thought he gave us a chance. He didn't turn it over. He used his legs when he had to. I'd like to see him break that one shoestring tackle on 3rd down where he allowed the corner to clip his ankle. I'd like to see him break that, but all in all, I can't be upset at him. He had a nice run that was negated by a penalty. What's new? Luke Bawanko was horrible today. We lose Ty Nsekhe for how long? Don't ask me. I don't know. It was good to see Joshua Halsey back out there. And before I could even say, welcome back, Joshua Halsey, he was hurt. So that's been our luck this season. I don't know the extent of all the injuries that we incurred today, but Ty Nsekhe got injured. I don't think he came back in the game. We're on another offensive lineman. Don't ask me his name. I can't tell you at this point. That's how bad it is on the offensive line. But somehow we got to show up next Saturday against the Titans and find a way to try to win and keep our playoff hopes alive. And we'll see what happens. Hell, we're not even out of the divisional race yet, which is crazy enough in itself. But look, at this point, you have to be real with yourself. We're not going anywhere, nor do we need to go anywhere. Our defense still not good, okay? Next week, you'll find that out against a real football team in the Titans who will run the football down our throat, who will throw the football because they actually have credible receivers. We will get run out of the stadium next week on the road against the Titans. Trust me on this, okay? Everything you saw today was a mirage because we were playing the Jacksonville Jaguars. And everything you saw today might be the reason that Jay and Bruce are back next year, which again makes me want to vomit in my mouth. But when you win games like this, all you can say is, for as bad as Jay may have been throughout the game, for as bad as some of the things that he did may have been, he still found a way to win with a fourth-string quarterback and his 79th combination along the offensive line. I don't really know if you can, at this point the finger at Jay as much as we want to. I'm still pointing the finger at him and Bruce. I'm still pointing the finger at those guys, and I want them out. But I can tell you Dan Snyder is so tone deaf that this kind of win, with the circumstances being what they are, may end up saying, let's just say the Redskins are competitive next week. I don't think they're going to be. Let's just say that they're competitive next week. And they find a way to lose next week 20-10. Let's just say it was a 13-10 game late. Titans scored a touchdown to push it out to 10, and the Redskins lose 20-10 next week against the Titans on Saturday. That's a competitive game. Redskins were in it for much of the game. Then the following week, let's just say Philly with Nicholas Foles at quarterback, because I think they're going to go ahead and shut down Wentz for the rest of the season. Let's just say the Redskins find a way to win that game. Who knows, okay? Let's just say the Redskins win that game 13-10, all right? Or they lose it 13-10. It really doesn't matter at this point. Just be competitive. Do you really think Dan is going to pull the trigger on getting rid of both Bruce and Jay? I don't think he will. It might take one more embarrassing performance for the Redskins to make a change. I really think that with the situation and circumstances the way they are, I don't really know. And this win doesn't make it any easier for him to get rid of Jay. We're at 7-7, still in the hunt in both the division and the wild card, with your fourth-string quarterback and your 79th offensive line combination. Look, you say what you want. It was a big win for Jay Gruden and his Redskins team. A lot of turmoil in the building right now. Defensively, offensively, it's a mess. I don't think Josh Doxson had a catch today. I think he only had 2 targets. When Floyd and Mo Harris had a drop, it wasn't a pretty ball. But when your leading receivers are Jamison Crowder and Michael Floyd, you have a serious problem. A serious problem. I don't think Chris Thompson had many touches today. We're bad. We're really bad. But we won the game. And so it is what it is. Redskins are 7-7 with the 16-13 victory. They find a way to survive. And next week, that game means something. I guess I'm excited about that. But on the flip side, I know the ramifications of winning and what that means to getting change. We want change. In order to get change, you can't keep winning. Can't keep winning games. But it is what it is. At the end of the day, Redskins win 16-13. I'm not impressed, nor should you be after this win. Keep in context of what you saw today and who we were playing. Know that this was because we played a team that was equally as bad as we were, and we made less mistakes. They turned it over twice, and we didn't. That proved to be the difference in this game. They had just as many penalties as we did. We had a bunch of penalties, so did they. They had some untimely penalties, so did we. Their penalties were more untimely than ours. Their turnovers and mistakes were more untimely than ours. That's why we won this game. Make sure you keep that in its proper perspective. I am a Redskins fan, etched in burgundy and gold. My Redskins spirit will never die. Redskins spirit will never fold. Until we meet again, hail to the Washington Redskins. Adrian Peterson wasn't good today. The offensive line in front of him wasn't good today. But They found a way at the end when the game was on the line. They put it all together. Good for them. Redskins win 16-13, get to 7-7 on the season. And, hey, Cowboys get shut out today. Eagles probably going to lose on Sunday Night Football. Giants already lost. I know the Giants don't matter in the grand scheme of things, but when you look up at the division, hey, Redskins only a game out in the division as well as a half game out in the wild card. I'm not saying. I'm just saying. I'm your man, Louie T. See you next time. Have a good one.